Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Welcome back if you're returning. Welcome for the first time if you've never been here before. Today we're going to talk about the Game Awards a little bit, and not like the awards that got passed out, what got snubbed. We're not going to talk about all the trailers. We're going to talk about two trailers that are making a lot of buzz for the right and wrong reasons on the internet today. As I record this, it is Friday evening, the day after the Game Awards. I had planned on doing this video a lot earlier today, but unfortunately, my toddler was sick, and so I had to do the whole dad thing and take care of him, and just did not have time for filming. But he's asleep now. It is kind of late on a Friday night, but everyone's sleeping soundly, and I was like, let me get this done so I can get it out the door. We'll have it on a Saturday. Saturday's not the best time to get views, but I wanted to get this out there while it was still fresh. So, and of course, online there's been a lot of rage baiting regarding the Game Awards last night, and I'm not talking about discourse, obviously, about the winners and losers, though I probably will get into, when I do a proper breakdown of the Game Awards, I probably will get into Game of the Year. I wasn't a big fan of the nominations to begin with, but I wasn't that big of a fan of what actually won, and not because it wasn't good, but because of what it was going against. But yeah, we're not worrying about that. No, we're talking about two trailers, and those two trailers are The Witcher 4 and Naughty Dog's a new IP coming out, Intergalactic. So first up, Witcher 4. As soon as it was revealed Ciri was going to be the protagonist of this game, I immediately knew people were going to lose their minds. Like, I knew the fan base, the people who actually play the Witcher games, were going to be super excited, because that's kind of what the series has been leading up to, for her taking the mantle from Geralt. That's just been kind of what the game's been leading up to, and so the fans get it. But for whatever reason, people who probably aren't even going to play the game are just extremely irritated with that choice of protagonist, and it blows my mind, because like I said, it's kind of what the game series has been leading up to. And also, to further prove this point, there's a bunch of people like showing screenshots, not even the best like screenshot from the trailer, but just like her making a rage face and comparing it to the last game's rendition of her, saying, oh, they've made her ugly. One, if you watch the entire trailer and take a more flattering screenshot, I don't think they made her ugly at all. It's kind of like this game obviously takes place several years after the last Witcher game, and she's gotten older and a lot more weathered and experienced, just from what that teaser shows. And as Indiana Jones once said, it's not the years, it's the mileage. So it's one of those things, just like living a hard life, and being a Witcher's a hard life. Like, that's gonna age her up a little bit, and even with her extra age and weatheredness, I wouldn't call her an ugly protagonist at all. Like, there has been some Western developed games that have had some homely looking female protagonists, but CD Projekt Red with The Witcher and Ciri is not one of them. And I know maybe there are some people who have grown accustomed to playing as Geralt, and they want to continue playing as Geralt. I get that. I'm that way sometimes with comic books or movies. I'm trying to think of a game series where they've changed the protagonist like permanently. Well, I'll say this: when Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, and it was a prequel to Red Dead Redemption 1, I was not that excited to play as Arthur Morgan. I wanted to play as like a younger James Marsden. But after playing Red Dead Redemption 2, I might like Arthur Morgan more than I like James Marsden. And in that case, Arthur Morgan was a completely new character. I'm not even sure if he was mentioned in Red Dead Redemption 1. Like, I haven't played Red Dead Redemption 1 in a long, long time, so I don't remember. You can correct me if I'm wrong in there, in the comments. But yeah, I grew to really like Arthur, and people who've been playing the Witcher games, they know Ciri. They have, I think in The Witcher 3, and it's been a long time since I've played The Witcher 3, and I did not complete it. I'm sorry out there. I believe you do have a couple missions where you play as her, so it's not even like it's different there. So it's just become a trope now, to where if the character is not, at the very least, male, if not white male, people get all up in arms about the game, and it's really really sad. And I hate to be this person to say this, but if you really really want to play as Geralt that bad, there are 3 previous Witcher games where you can play as him. I know Witcher 1 and 2 are kind of hard to play. Just going back to that style of gameplay is a bit difficult. So I get that, but Witcher 3 is still fantastic, and you can still go back and play that. And so I wouldn't get too all up in arms about it. And I'm actually hoping I'm actually hoping that CD Projekt Red remasters at least the first 2 Witcher games, maybe even remake would be cool. But since they are a smaller development team, they might not have the time to remake them. But a remaster, coat of polish, maybe if it's, and I don't make games, so I don't know how easy or difficult this would be, but maybe put on the Witcher 3 engine, and that might suffice a lot of Geralt fans who want to play with him. But this game is a dramatic story, and having dual protagonists, because maybe you do get to play a little bit as Geralt in this game, but it needs to evolve and grow. I mean, think of God of War. If Kratos would have come back with a 4th God of War and it was the same old as the first 3, people would have loved it, but it would have been tired, and I don't think it would have done as well. But they dramatically changed the gameplay. They dramatically changed Kratos, put him in a new setting, and Game of the Year, maybe Game of the Year, but Game of the Year nominee at the very least. And people loved it, and it spawned a sequel that people also loved. So things have to change in gaming. And, at the end of Witcher 3, it was kind of clear that Geralt was retired or retiring. So it's a nice evolution of the story, because things get stale if you stick to the same old throughout games. It makes me think, and I don't necessarily agree with what I'm about to say, but I saw a video the other day of a Zelda page, and they were saying they were getting kind of tired of just playing in Hyrule. Like, they love the Zelda games, but it's like Hyrule, been there, done that. So it's just one of those things. It's kind of like you got to change it up sometimes, and sometimes it's got to be a drastic change, like a new protagonist. So I wouldn't even judge the game until you can play it, or at least there's a gameplay trailer, because all that was a CGI trailer. So in the end, like, I really feel with Witcher 4, the people who are screaming and complaining the loudest about this game probably never had intentions of buying a Witcher 4 game, even if Geralt was the main character. They just want to grift and rage bait people to just get crazy over these things, and it's really really tiring to say the least. It's just kind of like, games are meant to be fun and meant to be played. Let's do that. Let's not bring our own personal politics into them, because sometimes you're seeing things that aren't even there. And now on to maybe the most controversial trailer of the night, for no other reason other than people want to complain about something, and that's Naughty Dog's new IP, Intergalactic. As soon as I saw it was a female protagonist with a shaved head, I was like, oh, here we go again. It's just going to be false outrage by people for a game that they haven't even played yet, that is an original story. So it's not like I can kind of get when people complain about gender swaps, race swaps, and things like that. I can kind of get it if you really love an IP and they change it drastically on you. I can kind of get that when you change a main character completely. I'm not changing, and I don't mean to revert back to what I was just saying about changing protagonists, but I mean like when you change who the main character is. Like, it was a dude and you made him a woman, not replacing a male lead with his understudy who's a female. That's different. But yeah, so it's like, it just seems that way these days. Like, this is a new IP. Like, you can't even begin to say the W word, which I'm trying to get rid of in my vocabulary, so I'm not even going to say it here, and I don't want it in my videos anymore because it just sparks false outrage from people, which drives me insane. But yeah, so it's just kind of like, this is a new IP with new characters with a really cool retro 80s vibe. It is a little ripping off Guardians of the Galaxy, I feel, in the aesthetic in that trailer. It might not be at all. It might, just have that initial vibe to it, but it could Could be completely different once you play the game, so I'm not gonna really judge it on that. But I was getting like female Star-Lord vibes from the character, kind of thing. But yeah, I really dig the Akira influence, the anime influence, and everything about that game. Now, will I be picking this game up on day one? 50-50, but that's just because I'm not the biggest Naughty Dog fan. Like, I dug a few of the Uncharted games, never been a Crash Bandicoot fan, and I just could not get into The Last of Us. So it's not like I'm a diehard Naughty Dog fan and I'm on the fence about this game for any particular reason. I'm only on the fence because Naughty Dog doesn't sell me on a game. Just because Naughty Dog made the game doesn't mean I'm buying the game, just because they've never been a publisher and developer who, for me, have made banger after banger. I know for a lot of people they have, and, good for you on that one. I'm not going to say you're wrong or anything like that. But for me, it's just kind of like they've been about 50-50 with whether or not I've liked their games. So just it being a Naughty Dog IP doesn't sell me on it. I will say the aesthetic looks really cool. And I really, really dig that sword she had. So it's one of those things. I'll wait for reviews and things like that, and hopefully PlayStation 5. I don't know. The game, who knows when it's coming out. I don't think they gave even a year, but we'll say PlayStation 5. We'll have a demo so I can at least try it out and be like, oh yeah, this is cool. And if not, maybe if it gets decent reviews, but it's not like I'm not like just dying to play it. I'll wait for, like a Black Friday sale and pick it up on the cheap. But yeah, but of course people were outraged by this, and I really don't get it with new IPs. Like, how can you say that with a new IP that you know none of the story of? And I mean, I got some like Ripley Alien 3 vibes from the character's look, except for the red leather jacket. That was a Star-Lord Michael Jackson vibe to me. But it's just kind of like, how can you even judge a new IP and say identity politics or any kind of politics are in it? Like, we don't even know this character or her backstory. We just know she's a bounty hunter. And there's been plenty of female bounty hunters in sci-fi fantasy fiction that we've all gotten down on. So it's just kind of like, wait to play the game before you really pass these judgments on it. So, oh man, it's just, I guess what I'm saying is, my point is, like, identity politics have sadly seeped its way into video games. And it's mostly been done by grifters on both sides. Like, there was this spring of journalists who popped up mainly through Kotaku and would just assign identity politics to every single game. Like, they would bash a game like Gears of War for toxic masculinity, when Gears of War is a war drama with a power fantasy. I mean, there's a lot of video games like that. Contra, to go all the way back to the 8-bit Famicom and Nintendo systems. So it's just one of those things. Games are an escape. They're they're a fantasy world for us. Some of us want to be big muscular dudes like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Predator and gun down aliens. Others want to be a high elf and slay a dragon. I mean, those are what RPGs are for. So, I mean, that's what these games are for. They're for us to escape into and not worry about everyday life and everyday politics. It's our escape. And it just seems like once Kotaku started doing the left side of things, throwing identity politics and things into video games, and of course the right overcorrected by saying anything that's not traditionally like 90s era video games, big butts, big boobs, big muscles, big guns, is somehow or another like anti-man or, anti-right or things to that nature. And it's just one of those just mind-boggling things. Like, yes, there are politically driven games out of there. Dustborn is one of them, but like, that proved, like, if you're going to be overly political, probably on either side, you're going to fail. Like, for instance, Duke Nukem Forever. If Dustborn, like, represents the left, like, extreme left, like Duke Nukem Forever in its attitude and its, over-exaggerated, and Duke Nukem kind of toxic masculinity, I say, yes, I added Duke Nukem 64 to the collection for the N64 complete collection. But Duke Nukem Forever could, kind of represent the right, because that game was kind of a throwback to those mid-90s extreme trends, and that failed too, because those of us who played games in the 90s, stuff like that, we've kind of moved on from that. We want a little more substance. Like, we still like the big muscles, big guns attitude, power fantasy kind of video game, a la like Gears of War, but we need a little bit more substance than what those games in the 90s were giving to us then. So it's one of those things. Gamers have kind of moved on from that. So it's just this battle. And the thing is, the sad thing is, both on the left and the right, these people probably really don't play video games and don't care about video games, but they're getting you and me and other gamers in this tizzy for clicks and views and things like that, to where we start yelling at each other and yelling at game makers and yelling at people who don't even play video games. I remember when we were all on a united front against the government for trying to ban Grand Theft Auto. Remember that, gamers? Remember when we were all on the same side where we just wanted to play video games? And people, like, I've never been the biggest Grand Theft Auto fan. Like, I think they're cool enough games, but I always get distracted and I go off doing shit and I never finish them and I just explore the open world. And even that, I was just like, nah, like, no, government, don't try to ban these video games and things like that. And I guarantee a ton of people who didn't play Grand Theft Auto were in the same boat. They're like, no, this is one of those stepping stones where, you know, they banned Grand Theft Auto. What was it? I think it was San Andreas with the hot coffee incident. And, you know, they make that game adults only. Where does that sliding rule start starting? Games that were teen are now mature. Games that were, you know, everyone are now teen, and they just make it harder and harder for us to get games. So we were once a united front, and let's not let these grifters, these politician, these professional political pundits try to get into our gaming space and ruin gaming for us. We can just ignore them, kind of thing like that. So, I mean, and like I said, these same people complain about Witcher 4 and Intergalactic, claiming identity politics and things like that. I guarantee you they're not going to play the games. And as far as the Witcher series goes, I guarantee they haven't played a single Witcher game. And just to kind of cap it all off, when I was watching the Game Awards, I was watching Inside Games drunk stream where they would do shots and stuff like that with Bruce Green and Lauren Sontag. That's how I always watch the Game Awards. If I watch it live, I watch their stream live. If I miss the Game Awards, I always catch their like 30-minute, 40-minute edit down version of just the best parts kind of thing. But I watched it live and I watched their thing. And I think Bruce Green had the best quote of the night when it came to those kind of games. He goes, "You guys keep complaining about those games. Lawrence and I I screwed up the quote. Damn it. I should have had that, but I'm just going to restart. He said, "You guys keep complaining about the games. Lawrence and I will be over here having fun playing them." And that's what games are. They're supposed to be fun escapes from our daily lives. Like, had a hard day at work, you know what? Go fire up a video game and forget those troubles. Be it like one thing I like to do is if my favorite football team gets their ass whooped on Sunday, I love to fire up Madden and take revenge on that team that beat my team. Or, you know, like I'll play like Indiana Jones for a nice escape, which a lot of people attacked my video when I said it wouldn't be woke. And there I go, I said it. But I'm just quoting my video, and I was proven right. The game is a classic Indiana Jones story. No identity politics in it whatsoever. So, boom, I was right. But yeah, it's an escape from our daily lives where you can be a bulky space marine. You can be a writer trapped in a dark place, or you can be an explorer in the jungles with your twin pistoleros, you know. And I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm going to be over there with Bruce and Lawrence having fun playing video games and not arguing about the politics of them. I'm just going to enjoy fun games, and I hope you, my viewers, you do the same. Video games are meant to be fun. Go play video games. If there's something in the game you don't like, don't buy it. Just move on. Like, don't yell and scream about it online. Just move on to the next game. There's always going to be a next game, and you don't have to worry, you know, about the current game. Whether you like the idea, you like the message, you like the story. My thought process has always been, if the gameplay is fun and intriguing and it keeps me coming back, it's a good game. Because there's a lot of good games out there with bad stories. So a lot of those times I just ignore the story and play the fun video game. So that's just a little of my TED talk about that for now. Hopefully you guys are with me on that, where you just want to play fun video games. You don't care about the noise from the left, the noise from the right. You're just right here in the center, just having fun playing video games. And that's all we want to do in life. We want to have fun playing video games. So until the next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Come back for more. If you like this video, have a like. If you disagree with me, throw a dislike. Engagement's engagement. I enjoy it. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about that. Are you excited for The Witcher 4? I'm kind of excited for The Witcher 4. I've never completed a Witcher game, but I've always had fun with the amount of time I've played in a Witcher game. I'm going to go back to Witcher 3 I think there's an Xbox Series X version or an Xbox One version. I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna play it. It's probably cheap now. I'm probably not gonna go back to Witcher 1 and 2 because I can't do that. But I'm kind of excited for Witcher 4. I'm gonna wait on Intergalactic. Again, Naughty Dog does not excite me like CD Projekt Red does. So I'm just gonna wait on that one, and we'll see. We'll see if it's any good. And if it's good, I might pick it up day one, or I might wait for a sale. It's one of those. We'll wait and see on that one. But yeah. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch my video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye now.